Welcome to the Stoic Responder Podcast. I'm your host, Christopher Healy. As a special agent who spent more than 15 years conducting large-scale fraud, money laundering, and public corruption investigations, Stoic philosophy provided a mindset edge that became the foundation of my professional success. My mission today is to share those same ancient mindset lessons with you so that you can turn obstacles into opportunities and adversity into advantage. Time to muster up. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Stoic Responder Podcast. It is Wednesday, July 24th. I'm your host, Christopher Healy. This is episode 35, Seize What Flees. I re-listened to yesterday's episode, guys, and I felt like I recorded that at 9 o'clock at night after an extremely long day, and I was not super pleased with the quality of it. So I'd like to first start out by apologizing for not rising to my finest hour when I recorded that. I realized at the end of it that I didn't read the quote at the beginning. I didn't read the journal prompt to send you off with. So I've resolved to do better for the rest of the week, the remainder of the week. And we're going to start that out the right way today. But first, before we get going, let me tell you about my friends at the Overwatch Collective. The Overwatch Collective is a 501c3 nonprofit and podcast funding therapy sessions and supporting mental health among first responders, military, and their families. Guys, this is a great organization that's supporting the community that we are a part of. They are providing therapy sessions, critical life-saving therapy sessions to our first responder communities out there. These are anonymous. They're providing these anonymously. They're paying for multiple sessions for people who need that option, who need to be able to get their head right, who need to be able to work with somebody so that they can keep going out there and serving the communities that they serve. It's an incredible organization. I'm so proud of what they're doing over there. And guys, if you want to contribute to this organization, you can go over to the overwatchcollective.com. You can buy some of their sweet gear. I wear a lot of it. I'm not wearing it today, but I wear a lot of it when I'm recording the podcast because I love to show off my Overwatch collection gear. You can also go to their annual fundraiser, which is in San Mateo, California on August 4th. You can buy tickets for that event at the overwatchcollective.com. if you happen to be in California. But if you just want to buy the fundraiser t-shirt and help support that fundraiser, you can do that as well. Check out the overwatchcollective.com. If you've got an organization like the Overwatch Collective, please let me know. I would love to support your organization with this podcast because you are doing great things for our law enforcement community. All right, getting on with the show today. Today, we're talking about courage. And the quote I'm going to start you out with is from Seneca. Let us therefore set out wholeheartedly, leaving aside our many distractions, and exert ourselves in this single purpose before we realize too late the swift and unstoppable flight of time and are left behind. As each day arises, welcome it as the very best day of all and make it your own possession. We must seize what flees. I love that quote so much. It's so verbose that I can't recite the whole thing, from memory. But man, I love that last line. We must seize what flees. The imagery that is evoked by Seneca when he's writing this is just incredible. And I believe this is from On the Shortness of Life, which is one of his essays about the shortness of life. And he talks a lot about that in his writings. He talks a lot about how we must treat each day as if it is the very best day of all. Make it our own possession, because this may be the only day we get. We don't know how many bits of sand are left in each of our individual hourglasses. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about kind of the modern context of this. And it's not even really modern, but it's modern compared to Seneca, right? This is context from 250 years ago in the founding of our nation. If you were a fan of musical theater, and admittedly I am, I'm a fan of, I'm a fan of musicals. I saw Les Mis on Broadway when I was in like 7th grade, and I, participated in the set design. I've never been in a musical production myself. I don't have any singing or dancing talent, but participated in the set design for my high school musicals year after year, and I'm a big fan of musicals, and I love Hamilton. Even though as a history major, as a student of history, I know that it is a poor representation of the real story of Alexander Hamilton. It's still a very cool play, and the music is awesome, and there's a lot in it that I appreciate and can identify with as a Stoic, because a lot of the characters in that play are derived, obviously, from real-life individuals who leaned into this same philosophy. So I read that quote there, and I think a lot about the 2015 Broadway hit Hamilton. I think about, in particular, the final song of Act 1, which is called Nonstop. Now, the song acts as kind of a bookend on the first half of Alexander Hamilton's busy and self-centered life that had seen him rise from an orphan to a Revolutionary War hero, to a powerful attorney, to an author and a speaker, and the United States first Secretary of Treasury, all by his early 30s. This just incredible life story is kind of played out the first 30 years or so of his life in this first act of the play. And the play does a pretty admirable job of capturing Hamilton's character and drive, even if there's some gaps in the historical record or some things that aren't particularly true of the relationships. It does an admirable job of capturing Hamilton's essence, his character, his drive. He was a relentless worker. He was a prolific writer, and his literary output played this crucial role in shaping American history and our political history and even our current politics of this day. Alexander Hamilton set things in motion that are still very much a part of our lives today. Side note, the New York Post, which was founded by Alexander Hamilton, is still in production today. It's one of the most popular newspapers in the country, and it started with him. So he's this prolific writer who plays this crucial role in shaping the character of America 250 years later. And throughout his life, he expressed his ideas, his beliefs, his arguments through numerous essays. He was a prolific writer. He wrote letters to all sorts of people, friends and enemies. His letters back and forth with Aaron Burr that set up the duel. His letters back and forth with other people like Thomas Jefferson. There's a lot in there to mine from his letters, from his personal papers, from his treatises, from his political documents, from the things that he authored both under his own name and under pen names like Publius. So this often repeated line in this song, Nonstop, which is kind of about this production of this production of words that he just can't stop. It keeps saying, why do you write like you're running out of time? And it's very prescient because given his eventual fate, we know he died very young. His relentless output does seem fatalistic in retrospect. It's as though he was aware that he would not survive to old age like his contemporaries all did. He only made it to 49. I'm 44. He made it 5 years longer than I did. And I shudder to think what he was capable of had he lived another 20 years. And I also, I sometimes think about how little I've produced by comparison to what someone like Hamilton did in 49 years. He accomplished more than most could in twice that time, than most did in twice that time. And he did so by making each day his own possession, as Seneca suggests. And he understood the universal truth that the swift and unstoppable flight of time would wait for no man, that we all only have so many sands of the hourglass. And if you have something to get out, if you have something to say, if you have something to accomplish, if you have something to do it now. As each day rises, welcome it as the very best day of all and make it your own possession, as Hamilton did, as Seneca suggests we must do. Time will wait for no man. The sand will run out of each of our hourglasses. And so, like Hamilton, we must seize what flees. Folks, let me leave you with a journal prompt. What will I do tomorrow to make the day my own? If you're listening to this early enough in the day, maybe ask yourself, what will I do today to make the day my own? And then go out and execute. Treat it like it is the best day ever. Go out and live this day like it is the gift that it is. Earn this day. Make your mark. Starting right now. Folks, there's a couple things you can do if you want to support this podcast, you enjoy supporting, or you enjoy listening to this podcast. Number one, you can pick up a copy of my book, In Valor, 365 Stoic Meditations for First Responders. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, anywhere you get your books. It's available on Kindle or Nook for instant download, or you can pick up a paperback copy if you like to take notes, if you like to highlight, if you like to use the journal prompts and write in the book right then and there. You can do that. That's why I got the 400-page paperback out there for y'all, because I love using it that way. I use it every day. It is, I'm biased because I'm the author, but it's one of my favorite books. I read it every day. And I hope that you will too, if you want to practice this philosophy, because this is a philosophy that is intended to be practiced daily. It gives you quotes, it gives you contextualization, similar to what you're getting on this podcast. It's going to send you off with a journal prompt, something that can allow you to take that quote, take that contextualization, and apply it to your own life. Number two, you can subscribe to our Substack, The Stoic Responder, for free. You will not only get the 4 podcasts a week, plus any bonus episodes that I do, like the one I did last week with Jeff Fields about the U.S. Secret Service incident involving the Trump assassination attempt. We did a special episode about that. You will get those delivered directly into your email inbox if you sign up for our free Substack, but you will also get any newsletters that I write, any additional weekly writing that I do that dives into leadership issues, that dives into Stoic mindset. And finally, the easiest thing that you can do to support this podcast, and something I would personally appreciate, is to like, share, and subscribe wherever you're listening to this, whether it's on Apple, whether it's on Spotify, whether it is on Amazon, or any of those other podcast platforms out there. Like, share, and subscribe so that others can learn about what we are doing here, and so that this podcast can continue to have an impact. Thanks so much. Until next time, folks, you are How to Roll. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to subscribe, like, rate, and share this podcast so that we can spread the benefits of Stoicism to other first responders. It will only take you a few moments, but it can help us tremendously. Until next time, How to Roll.